Okay, we're going to begin on Gimlam and Beis. Ve'ein me'arvin boi, ve'ein mishtatvin boi, ve'ein manichem boi erev. So, we're quoting the Mishnah, the Brisa, and the Brisa said, Ein ma'arvin boi, it is not used for the erev, ve'ein mishtatvin boi, and it is not used for the shitof, ve'ein manichin boi erev. Now the difference in manichin boi erev and ma'arvin boi, what's the difference? The difference is, one is this house included in the area that needs to be part of the erev? And the second is, can you put the erev in this house? As we explained in that voice, we'll explain again. When I have multiple houses open into a chutzner, so can that person in each house carry into this joint chutzner? The answer is no. The only way to carry in that joint chutzner is if everyone pools together something. We said in the example, everyone gives a challah roll, puts all these items by one house. Now they all have a joint ownership. Once there's joint ownership, then they're allowed to carry in that chutzner. The question is, if one of those houses is less than 4x4, does that house need to be part of this erev? And that's where the Brisa said no. Number two, we have houses open into the chatzeiros, open into the mavui. Does a small house have to be part of the sheet of mivuais? Is when all the chatzeiros, all the houses are coming together? Answer is no. And number three, v'in manichem by erev, if you were to put the erev, if all the houses take their challah roll, can you put it inside the small house? And that we said no as well. Says the Gemara, my taima. The reason is loy chazi ladira, because it is small, it's not fit to live in. So now says the Gemara, eruve chatzeiros ein manichin boi. Sounds like you're not allowed to place the erev chatzeiros in this small house. Aval, however, shitof manichin boi. Sounds like if you're putting the sheet of mivuais, which again is when all the houses in the chutz are coming together into that mavui area, sounds like then you could put it into the small house. And the answer is why? If this house is too small, why could you put the sheet of mivuais there if you couldn't put the erev chatzeiros there? My time. Says the Gemara, you know what the reason is? It's no worse, no less than a chutzner in the mavui. And as we're going to see right now, Rav David and son and Avram, as we're going to see right now, you're allowed to put the erev of the sheet of mivuais, again, when they're all pulling it together, you're allowed to put it in the chutzner. So if that you're allowed to put in the chutzner, says the Gemara, you're also going to be allowed to put it into a house that is less than 4x4. Ditinan, as we learned in a Mishnah. Eruve chatzeiros bechatzer. The erev chatzeiros you're allowed to put in a chatzer. Sheet of mavoi b'mavoi. That's the words of a Mishnah in Erevin, that when you're combining for the chatzer, you can put in the chatzer. When you're combining for the mavoi, you can put in the mavoi. Ve'havinan ba, Gimel and Beis, smack in the middle of the Amid. The first word online is ve'havinan. Ve'havinan ba, and we wondered what exactly does this mean? That erev chatzeiros can be placed in the chatzer, and sheet of nevuais can be placed in the mavui. Erev chatzeiros b'chatzer. Are you telling me that when you're placing the erev chatzeiros, which again, what does that mean? Let's remind ourselves one last time. We have a bunch of houses open into a chatzer, so they all have to pool together one source in that chatzer. So you telling me that they could put those challah rolls in the chatzer itself? But we learned in a Mishnah, so in places zero, bebeis shar achsajo marpeset, in a watchman's hut, in a pavilion, or on a porch, basically three non-really house areas. What's the halacha? Einoi eruv. V'hadarsham, and if you live in that area, you're not considered part of the chatzar that you would aser the others, and you have to be a part of it. So ask the Gemara, what does the Mishnah mean? You're telling me that you can place it in the chatzar? You see, we can't even place it on a porch. We can't even place it on a watchman's house. So why would you be able to place the eruv of this bread in the chatzar itself? Elohima, rather, suggests the Gemara, we should say, eruv chatzeros. What does it mean that you could place the eruv chatzeros in the chatzar? Doesn't mean in the chatzar. It means in a house in the chatzar. And likewise, shita of mivuais, where are you placing that? Bechatzar shebe mavui. So now says the Gemara, just like by the sheet of mivuais, which is what? When we're pulling something together from all the different houses to carry into the mavui, you could place it where? In a chatzar, v'hai, a small house, loy kara mi chatzar shebe mavui, is no less than a chatzar in the mavui. So proves the Gemara, just like you're able to put the eruv chatzeros where? In the chatzar, you'd be allowed to place it in the small house. So the small house that's less than 4x4, even though number one, it's not considered living, that you have to be combined in the eruv chatzeros. It's not considered living, that you have to be combined in the sheet of mivuais. You're not allowed to put the eruv chatzeros in it. There's one thing that we're learning you could do in this little house less than 4x4, which is what? Place the sheet of mivuais inside that little house. I hope and pray that was a little bit clearer, with a little bit of background, and hopefully now everything makes sense. And we'll go a drop further. Says the Gemara, quoting the Brisa. Again, the Brisa that we're quoting now is the Brisa from Gimel Amud Aleph on the bottom, and the Brisa over there listed all these things that this house, which is less than 4x4, is not chayevin. We said you don't put a mezuzah, you don't put a fence on it. We just said that it's not part of your eruv, etc. I made a bracha before. So says the Gemara, ve'ein oisin oisai iber bein shtei ayaros. This little house cannot be considered the iber. Iber literally means the pregnancy, the offshoot, the extra area between two cities. If this house is within 70 and 2/3 amos of each city, the halacha is it does not combine the two cities. Says the Gemara, afilu keborganin loy mishavina la. It's not even like borganin. What are borganin? Borganin is a little hut that's made out of reeds that the watchmen sit in. And there's a unique halacha when it comes to tchum, when it comes to these areas of how far you could carry on Shabbos. Where does the city end? So halacha is, if there are borganin, if there are these little huts throughout, past the city, the hut extends the tchum. That the tchum, the 2,000 amos, doesn't start from where the city ends, starts where these borganin, where these little huts end. So says the Gemara, I don't understand. You're telling me that this house, which is less than 4x4, is not even like a little hut? If a little hut could extend the tchum, why should this not be able to? My taima, what is the reason? Explains the Gemara that this little house is less than the watchman's hut. Says the Gemara, because borganin, and this is a very yisodi, a very fundamental answer, which applies in so many places. We'll explain in a moment. Says the Gemara, the watchman's hut is chazu limilsayu. Chazi, literally fit, limilsayu, for what it is used for. For a watchman's hut, a little hut made out of reeds is perfect. How much does the watchman need? He doesn't need a palace. He needs a little area to sit and get sheltered from the shade. But a house which is less than 4x4, loy chazi lemilsei, is not fit for its usage. What's the usage of a house? To live in. Teeny little house is not fit for its usage. Now, why is this so important? Let's explain one halacha which we spoke out, but now we'll understand a little better. When we read the Gemara on Amud Aleph that said a house less than 4x4 is patur from mezuzah. So I said, therefore, whenever you're figuring out the size of a room that needs a mezuzah, you spread out your arms, you're 5-6 feet tall, you spread it, and that's dalet by dalet. But then I said, but a closet, a walk-in closet, we said is a chumrah to put a mezuzah. The question is why? This is the answer. Because a walk-in closet, even if it's not 4x4, is chazi limil sayu. It's fit for its purpose. Now, obviously, people are listening and saying, what do you mean? A walk-in closet should be 10 by 10. Should be bigger than your bedroom. Beautiful. But we all know that regardless how much clothing one has, it's a closet. So a closet doesn't have to be the size of a house. This is where it comes from. As we're seeing over here, the Gemara differentiates between something which is chazi limel sayu. It's fit for its usage. Another example, a laundry room. How big does a laundry room need to be? So a laundry room can be a small room. Obviously, everyone would prefer a big room and prefer plenty of space. That's not the point. The watchman would also like to have a massive room to be the watchman with a big flat screen TV. But Lamaisa, he's a watchman. And a watchman, really, a little hut is enough for him. So if it's chazi limil sayu, then the halacha is that it's fit for its purpose. And that's where the halacha mezuzah comes in. Let's go one drop further. Ve'ein ha'achin va'ashotvim. Rishus, do you have a question? Is that a question? Sorry?
No, but I just curious. There aren't like for Yom Kippur and even Kiddush HaChodesh, they had these little huts that people used to stay in. So you see how you can actually, whatever, live in.
Yeah.
Kippur,
No. You're asking a good question. But the answer there is that's not called living. That's called b'dchak. When you have no choice, you'll stay in a thing. Listen, what's going on in Uman now? What are people living in? Oh, who knows? Not even a bed, right? Does that mean that a house is not even a bed? So you're right. You're right that it could have some level of functionability to it. And you're right. Listen, you have this teeny little sukkah, maybe, but lamaisa, it's not called chazi limil sayu. Says the Gemara 8:13. Let's go one more moment. Ve'ein ha'achin va'ashotvim cholkin boy. The brothers and the partners do not divide such a small house. Asks the Gemara, Taima, what is the reason that this is not divided? To last bay arba amois, seemingly. Ha is bay arba amois. Let's say it was 4 amois cholkin. Then what? That it would be included in the division of brothers or partners. Asks the Gemara, V'atinam, but we learned in the Mishnah, Ein cholkin es achatzer. The halacha is we don't divide the chatzir. Now, what it means you don't divide the chatzir doesn't mean we don't divide the chatzir. Everything gets divided amongst brothers. What this means is that Reuven can tell Shimon, you take the chatzir and I take the house, even if it's a large chatzir, because each item is its own item. In that item, there's 2 cars, they each get a car. There's 2 houses, they each get a house. So one can say, oh, you know what? You take the 4x4 house, and I'll take the mansion, and I'll compensate you elsewhere. Again, it's not in the dollar value. In the dollar value, of course, everything will equal out, but it's in the din of chalukah. Is there a din chalukah on it? So says the Gemara, we learned ein cholkin es achatzer. We do not divide the chatzir until shehei boy arba amos lezeh v'arba amos lezeh. So it's not only a house, even a chatzir we would not divide. And the truth is, we're going to stop over here. This is going to take us all the way to the bottom of the Amid. Siyat Shema will pick this up here tomorrow. Again, whether people are on live, hopefully they'll listen later. We can't overstate to try an incredible chazara, so that over Rosh Hashanah, the plan is tomorrow is Tuesday. Plan is tomorrow to basically finish to the 2 dots about. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to start a chazara of Beis and Gimel. And then over Rosh Hashanah, hopefully we'll do more chazara of Beis and Gimel. So hopefully we'll go into Seres Mei Tshuva and Beis and Gimel will be in the back pocket.